Question number 2, Ron Mark.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Prime Minister and asks, does he stand by all his statements?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, yes.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Ron Mark.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Prime Minister, does he stand by his statement that, quote, every region of New Zealand is crucial to our growth and progress, end of quote?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, yes, in the context I made it.
Supplementary. Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Ron Mark.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Prime Minister, why has the government only given then $12 million over 4 years to councils for tourism infrastructure, such as public toilets, when the government took $630 million net surplus from GST on international visitor spending?
The Right Honourable
Mr Speaker,
Prime
I
Minister.
think the member's wrong. Numbers higher than that for GST. And the government has been investing very heavily in the tourism sector. It's one of the reasons why it's such an important part of the economy, and we saw 3.3 million international tourists come to New Zealand. What the government is doing is, for the first time, providing that sort of support for councils. They're free to put in an application. I think from the feedback I've been getting, both as Prime Minister as Minister of Tourism, a lot of them are going to do that and be grateful. But to argue that's the only thing we're doing in terms of supporting tourists is a bit farcical. It includes the $140-odd million every year we put into marketing. It includes the work we've done around black spots for mobile phones and ultra-fast broadband and tourist facilities.
Point of order, Ron Mark.
Mr Speaker, I specifically quoted the figure $12 million over 4 years to councils with respect to tourism
Order. Can
infrastructure.
I have the point of order, please?
My question is, he hasn't answered. I asked you to ask the Prime Minister to answer the question.
Order. No, there's absolutely no doubt that the question was the answer addressed the question that was asked.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Ron Mark.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Prime Minister, why is Westpac the government's bank when it is not prepared to be the people's bank in places like Ranfurly, Fairlie, Carterton and suburbs like Greerton and Tauranga?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, the government's bank is the Reserve Bank, so much we own it, or Kiwi Bank. Westpac is not the government's bank. We might bank with it, but we don't own it.
Why don't you bank with Kiwi Bank? We'll replay that on video. Supplementary, Mr Question. We'll replay
Order.
that.
Order.
Being a dick.
Order.
Being a dick.
Order. 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 But that is an example of the disorder that's created if the member leads in with something before he asks us something. Supplementary question, Ron Mark.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Prime Minister, if the regions are crucial to the government, why are Nelson residents frustratingly waiting for a viable solution to the Southern Link? And what is the government doing to revitalise the Buller district, which has lost more than 1,000 jobs in the last few years?
The Right Honourable Prime
Mr Speaker, the member would really need to ask the Minister of Economic Development to get the full regional plan for those particular areas, but rest assured there is one. He's been actively engaged with those communities, and actually from memory, I may prove to be wrong, but from memory I think it was the Mayor of Buller actually who was very, very supportive of the program that was rolled out. Yes, there's been some issues in relation to mining, but to argue that the government is responsible for that given the downturn in commodity prices is a novel one. If he thinks he's got an answer to it, he should probably go and ring Malcolm Turnbull, because they happen to be having a few problems in Australia in relation to mining.
Question number